omnibus spending bill intensifies the crisis at the southern border. Now, I know, Mr. Speaker, maybe the Rules Chair will say, they're all putting the people before politics. That's why the President says there's more important things to do to even visit the border. He hasn't had much time in his 40 years of elected office to have a chance to visit the border. Since taking office and having one-party rule, the Democrats and Biden's open border policy has caused the worst border crisis in American history. You could try to ignore it, but in 11 more days, since you won't show up for work here, you no longer will have that opportunity. And we're going to take our work to the border. We're going to have our hearings on the border. All you'll have to do is open your eyes, and you'll see what you created. And you'll see the disaster that has become of your legacy. On this administration's watch, record numbers of illegal border crossing, deadly drugs, and even terrorist suspects have come into our country. I remember almost 2 years ago on a tour of the border, speaking to the border agents. You'll learn a lot if you're willing to do that. They told me never before have they seen so many people coming across the border that they catch on the terrorist watch list. I went to a press conference after, told the American public what we had learned. I would assume everybody, especially Mr. Speaker, when the Rules Chair says he cares so much about the people, that they'd be concerned because he knew what has happened when terrorists has come to America before. That they would want to rally together to protect America. No, Mr. Speaker, Congressman Gallego called me a liar. He said he has as much clearance as I did, Mr. Speaker, that this could not be true. But lo and behold, even the DHS came out and said, he tried to deny the facts, but now we know it's a record-setting number. How many people on the terrorist watch list coming into this country is too much for you? How many? How many before they act again? But if you don't want to do that, we now have caught enough fentanyl in the last year to kill every single American. It's in every single one of your cities. If you listen to the people and you stop playing politics, they'll tell you to stop it. There's enough now to kill 10 times over every single American. My good friend Guy Reschenthaler on the Rules Committee just recently told you. Today, well, as many of you sit home and let somebody have cast your vote, 300 Americans will be poisoned and die from fentanyl, from your lack of action. And what does this do to stop it? Nothing. What does it do to help manage the crisis at the border? Well, this bill provides more for migrant shelter services and reduces the number of ICE detention beds. These facilities that eventually release even more migrants across the country. Meanwhile, this disastrous bill reduces funding for border technology that would prevent more illegal border crossings in the first place. This bill funds, and you should brag about this, 300 additional Border Patrol agents. But as you brag about that, there will be 3,000 illegal border crossings in one single day just in El Paso. You go over one overpass in El Paso, and in 7 weeks, 70,000 people came to that one location. But I know you care about the people on the border because you say so. It's just not the border of America. Because in this bill that you say you put people before politics, you put $410 million for border security in Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt, Tunisia, and Oman. You will fund walls and technology to protect the Middle East. but not to protect America. And what's worse, you brag about it. And when the American public asks you about it, you tell them to shut up. You know best. You're putting their issues first. And you're too busy to go to the border to see what's happening. So I want you to look in the eye of a parent when they come to you and tell you their child just died from a fentanyl overdose. Not because they purchased fentanyl, but they purchased a Xanax or something else. But it's so rampant, it's laced in everything we see. But sure, try to explain to them how you put them before politics when you pass this bill.